Hi guys, my name is Parth. I'm co-founder at DevX. As you know, we have recently rebranded ourselves, and when we say we have rebranded, we thought of enjoying or reliving the entire journey that we have spent in last 3 years with all the stakeholders. And when I talk of stakeholders, we have all our clients, the employees, obviously, all the partners that we have, right? So all of these guys have been part of this journey, and they have really helped us during this entire journey. Dev as a group, DevX as a company, we always had this thought very clear that other than anything, people first is our approach. Employee first, client first, partners first. So that has always been our approach. So with the same, all the clients who spent good number of time with us, they have turned family. So one of the family members is here with us today, Keyur from Plutomen. So Keyur, we've been knowing each other from quite some time. I think more than a year.
Yes.
Right. So this is our first talk with one of our client who turned family, right? So when we say client turned family, while me, Rushit, Umesh, we were discussing about who should be called first, the first thing that all of us said as a name was Keyur, right? So a lot of people know Keyur, right? A lot of people know Plutomen, but I think throwing some more light on about you and about the company would help. If you can, what about you, please?
Sure. First of all, congratulations for launching a completely rebranded new website.
Right.
And thank you so much for inviting me. Talking about me, currently I am working as co-founder and CEO with Plutomen Technologies. Before starting Plutomen, I was running a company Horizon. Actually, I supposed to invest in that company first in 2012. Then in 2014, I joined in full time, and that got acquired by a company Square Yards in 2015.
So the way like client turned family, it was investor turned founder or owner probably.
Yes. And before getting into this entrepreneur journey, I had also worked with few companies.
Right.
I have been with Reliance Retail. I have been with Hindustan National Glass, which is into production of glass bottles. And I have also been into company KHS, which is a German MNC, which is into capital goods manufacturing.
Right.
So I have at least been able to touch base various sectors before getting into the entrepreneurship journey. And when we talk about Plutomen, Plutomen is a company which focuses on giving augmented and virtual reality solutions to enterprises. And my experience of being working with enterprises is also helping us design solutions which we are creating and catering to the enterprises.
Right.
And when we talk about the focus as Plutomen, what we have, the solutions which we create typically try to help enterprises in achieving high first time fixes, that is nothing but improving productivity, enhancing their workforce capability. So we are kind of empowering their workers and ultimately enhancing their customer satisfaction. So that is the overall purpose and the vision with which we create solutions of augmented and virtual reality. And this is it. So
right.
You can also ask if in case there are specific questions to Plutomen.
No, I think this is a good introduction. I would want to talk about the recent time more. As we are aware that pandemic situation it has affected all the business.
Correct.
I think that must not have been leaving apart very few couple of industries. I think it has affected all the industries in a very negative way, right? What has been your experience of COVID, because it has changed the way people work, right? So work from home obviously was not a very adopted kind of a concept for all the industries. So what was your experience? How has COVID changed things for you?
Correct. So I'll answer this question in two parts. One, what has happened personally or towards the company, and how it has affected the ecosystem at large.
Right.
So while COVID was in its journey towards India, I was in US at that time. We were in fact launching one of our product, ARMS, which is Remote Assistance and Collaboration product. We have attended, or I would say we exhibited in the last physical exhibition which would have happened before COVID. That was
in the entire world probably.
Yes, so before COVID, and I think it was in March 9 to 12th. It was at Atlanta. I was supposed to continue that journey, and I was supposed to be in US and then to Canada at least till end of March. But while we were there, we could realize that there were cases increasing in USA, different states.
Right.
So we took a call that we need to come back. So we cut short our trip, and we were back by 17th, and this was the last day. After that, the stamping started, and I think in 2 days, complete international
Got shut down
flights were
completely.
on. So we were lucky enough that we were able to make the decision of coming back on time.
Right.
Talking about how we took these things in our company, yeah, no doubt, 3 months has been very critical for us because one, there was a complete expense planned. It was an investment which turned into an expense because of that trip. Not
I'm sure you would have planned certain ROI
Yes,
from your
yes.
US trip,
Yes,
and it happened the other way.
Yes, completely. But what the insights which we got were two. One, immediately on my arrival, we started focusing on work from home because we had realized that this is supposed to last long. So even before the lockdown was announced, my complete team went for work from home,
Achha.
and we had shifted all our systems and all. So even till date, they are all working from home.
Uh-huh.
And the second thing was about the product. So the product which we were having, remote assistance and collaborations, this is typically for enterprises. And so at a larger picture, no doubt for us, this 3 months or the 4 months of lockdown was quite tough because cash flow completely got chopped.
True.
But what we did, we launched this product as free to access. So it was
Okay.
available to all. And this typically is a product which is kind of a collaboration between field service engineers and offsite employees.
Right.
So it is actually focused towards manufacturing and equipment users. So this, since the business processes have changed, wherein installations comes into picture, services has been, as in the maintenance, the way people used to install, used to service things has
Right.
changed, and this is where this tool is very important.
Right.
And so we thought that let's launch it for free, get the feedback, and we can even upgrade the product when things are right, and then launch it to the correct market segment. So
Right.
that is what we did.
So your experience of, people's adoption towards the same is, at least up to the expectations or not?
So, in fact, we were not planning to launch this product in India before.
That's right.
As in, we went for launching it outside. But post-COVID, what we realized that the adoption of Indian customers, especially enterprises, because of COVID, has increased exponentially.
That is what Modi ji has been saying
Yes.
to the entire
So,
world.
yes, so that
You're
is
not taking it seriously,
correct.
it seems.
Yeah, we are, and actually that has been the case, wherein people are very open to try it out at least.
Right.
So we were at least able to, I would say, we have done trials with almost more than 90 companies.
Oh, that's a
wherein
good number.
currently, actively pilots are going on in more than 30 companies. So that the decision of we giving free access has actually turned out to be in our favor right now. No doubt, when we go in for actually a paid version,
That's
is
when
when
you-
we will
that's when you
see that
think
whether
there's
they
the
are
water.
actually
Right,
yes.
right, right.
So that is where we will realize whether that's an actual customer or not. But at least we are getting correct feedbacks.
Yeah, but at least they get used to the system. Once they start utilizing it, they understand the worth of it. I
Correct,
think
correct.
it would not be, they would not mind spending its worth, I'm sure.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we are also expecting.
Hopeful.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
true.
And but the other good thing which has happened is the sector which we are in, the augmented reality and virtual reality, that has suddenly taken a boom. As in, the CAGR expectation is more than 85% for next 6 years. So,
Right. That's
so we feel that we are in the right space.
Yeah, touch wood. Right. So, things have really changed after COVID. I think we, if I'm not mistaken, we have strengthened our relation
Yes.
in last 2 to 3 months probably because you've increased your frequency of operating from DevX's premises because as you have your own premise in Ahmedabad city itself, though your other team sits at our other premises of DevX, but we also have increased our frequency of hosting you. So, was that COVID factor there?
Yeah, so COVID has definitely played a very important role here also in strengthening our relationship. Especially what has happened is currently as almost my 100% team is working from home.
Right.
But still there are instances where we need to have some brainstorming sessions or we need to have some meetings which needs to be done in a formal conduct.
Right.
So we thought that why to open the office for just a meeting or just to have a brainstorming session.
Right.
We have a great space here, so why not to utilize that space? And here we have seen, as in I came one or twice wherein I could see that the standards which you have maintained post COVID, I think we cannot maintain it personally at our offices.
That's honestly that's how it has to be done that way because we are in a space of providing a safe office,
Yeah.
right? So we used to say workspaces that inspires. now we've added one more line to it when we say workspaces that inspire safety. Because it's very important, right?
Yeah, and I think that was the primary factor, I would say, because I came in for 1 or 2 times wherein I could realize that I would be safe here. So that was the factor. So that is when I started also calling in my team that when there is some brainstorming session or a critical decision or strategy decision needs to be taken. So that is where we now have started engaging more here.
Right, certainly. So we host you in Mumbai, one part of your team.
Yes.
I think in Baroda as well. Very small number you started with. So it seems you are going for a diverse team in the multiple locations. Is there a strategy?
Yeah, so post-COVID we have seen that we were quite averse, as in since we are launching a product, we always feel that it has to be a close-knitted team. So typically our core team still operates from Ahmedabad, but our plans are there for sales and even for, let's say, some critical modules wherein we could give some better resource at some other location. Since now the trends are changing of a distributed workforce as we typically
that has been, we've been hearing this from a lot of clients. So for example, one of our clients that we recently closed, right? So what they have done is they had a team of 100 in Mumbai. So they've distributed that team amongst 20, 30 in the left number, right? And they've distributed amongst the various areas in the same town.
Correct.
Because that's, I think you're doing the same in the multiple cities with DevX, right?
Correct.
So distributed workforce is definitely, I think, more than work from home. Distributed workforce is a better concept.
Yes. So and definitely, as in I have seen that eventually, no doubt, work from home was all rosy initially.
Initial days.
Yeah. So but when we have seen that when the unlock starts, we have seen the productivity going down working from home.
Right.
So we eventually also plan to at least shift our workforce slowly to the office as soon as possible.
So work from home also has one major disadvantage, where you were supposed to work for home as well. So did Keyur face that challenge of working for home and from home?
Definitely.
And we had to specify some of the tasks that you learned during COVID.
So one thing, again, see, I used to be doing few tasks before COVID also. But still after COVID, one good thing which has happened is I have turned a better chef now, which was not the case initially. Second, again, kachara, pota, that is always a case which we have to do. Now at least we have started, the maid has started coming in. But the other thing, good thing which happened was I used to get more, as in still getting more time to spend with my kid, which would not have been the case if it was not work from home or COVID. So that is one of the positive things which has come out.
That's one plus that you take
I'm
out of
able to
COVID.
give more time to my kid. He's only 18 months old now.
Achha.
So at least the last 6 months have been with him only. So that's great.
That's great. All right, Keyur. So because you have spent significant time with DevX now, I was not probably part of the initial few months when you decided to choose DevX to opt for few of the services, right? I'm really excited to know what was the reason of choosing DevX. How did you land it up here? And I'm assuming that you would have got some advantage as a byproduct of being part of DevX. So if you can just tell me probably 3 advantages or outcome that you would have got after joining DevX.
So first of all, how I got to know DevX. I think 1 or 2 times, as in before I shortlisted DevX as one of the, I would say, co-working space where I would go in for some meetings and all. There were a couple of events which I had attended here. So I think there were a lot of events. So when you started, I think there was a lot of buzz in Ahmedabad when you started.
That was the idea.
Correct.
We wanted to ensure that any startup events that happens in Ahmedabad has to happen at DevX.
So there were a lot of events. So I think in span of 1 month, I almost visited more than 2 to 3 times. And then I guess then I was also a speaker in one of the events which happened here. And then my interaction with Umesh started, and that is where we were having some discussions, and he pointed out that this is also, as in hosting meetings and those kind of as in I would say those kind of setups are also available at DevX, which I was not aware initially.
A lot of people don't know that co-working spaces typically also offers like event area, meeting room, conference room on per day, per hour for your quick meetings.
Correct.
So typically they have a mindset that it is only for full-time for a month. In fact, to your surprise, we sell the one specific desk for a day as well.
Okay.
So if someone, for example, is traveling, he wants to sit in an office for a day, we will even give that.
Okay.
right? So I mean,
Still
a lot of
being
people
part of,
don't know.
as in it's only one year, but I'm not aware about this.
Right, exactly.
So that's correct. So that was how I started with DevX. But when we talk about the takeaways, I would like to even mention this, that I don't see DevX as just a co-working space. I feel that it's an ecosystem, especially with the range of services apart from co-working spaces which you have. And I would say, utilized few of the offerings,
Right.
and there are places where I've got indirect benefits. So one of the mentor which is there on our board, I have met him first at one of the events at DevX.
Right.
So that's I would say it's an implicit benefit which I've got
True.
being part of this ecosystem. And the other foremost, I would say, if I recollect, there are 2 clients which again I have got because of again meeting somewhere during your hackathon, or at those times I have got been connected, and then we have built relation, and then they kind of now are our clients.
True.
And in fact, currently I think you are also, as in DevX as a team, is also helping me out with finding investors. So again, that is not part of our contract, but then it is just out of, since, as I would just like to quote, that you consider client as your family. So
Right.
you are just helping us out, also reach to the investors. And I think that's what I feel, that's what you have to offer. So especially if there are startups who are planning to be part of the current ecosystems or the ecosystem which DevX has, I would strongly recommend, because there are a lot of indirect benefits which you get when you are part of DevX as a partner.
Yeah, thank you so much for the recommendation. But I mean, so that's what, honestly, there was a reason of rebranding, right? So a lot of people have known DevX, and DevX, when a word comes, they say it's a workspace or it's a co-working space. What a lot of them do not know is we are much more than just a co-working space. Co-working spaces, definitely yes, we are one of the good co-working spaces is what we consider, but our accelerator services, our other innovation services. So we typically say that innovation and workspace or spaces, these are the 2 things basically we predominantly work into, and everything surrounded with that is what we typically try and focus on.
That's
right? So that's rightly mentioned, that we are trying to ensure, there was the vision we were carrying when we started, that we do not want to just become a co-working space, we want to become an ecosystem, when co-working space is definitely an important part of it.
Great to know that.